Welcome to the course. So we'll be deploying an application on a single node server. So let's see what the application is about. This is the code. These are the static files, and this is the HTML files. And if I see, this is the app.py file which I have written in Flask framework, using Flask framework. So there are many endpoints it is trying to call in this application. The HTML file which you see, it is related to, let me show you that it is related to these files. These are the videos which I have deployed in YouTube in privately. I have kept it privately. So these are the YouTube videos which I have deployed privately, and this is the application all about. Then this is a learning platform. EKS cluster, OpenShift cluster. I have not added any videos till now. So if I add it, I'll update the code. But here it is. This is the application all about. We'll be deploying on a single node server. So let's dive into the AWS account, my account, and let's try to deploy the application single node. Let's create an instance. VPC and on network is configured for me, and you can configure as well. You can name the server as server, and then we can use Ubuntu as an image. We can use Amazon Linux as well, but we'll use Ubuntu. Then we'll use T2 medium, and then I have the key with me. Network, I have a VPC, hosting VPC, which I have already configured. So I'll create in that, and then security group. This is the hosting VPC security group I have created already. It is already created in my account, so I'll use that. And then let's launch the instance, and let's see if it is I'm able to access. Yes, I'm able to access. I'm able to get the IP. Let's get into the system. I have the key. I think private key I have at the place. Yeah, key is there already. So let's get into the video. Let's get into the system, and let's see. And these are the steps which I'll be following now. So these are the steps for deploying the application. Let's follow these steps one by one, and then let's try to deploy the application. We don't have Git in our system, right? So by default, Ubuntu doesn't have Git, so we have to install Git after it is completed. After this update is completed, let's install Git as well. We'll be pulling the code, right? So for pulling the code, we need Git. Git is installed, right? So now after that, let's update again. Let's install. Let's see what version of Python we have. Python 3. We have Python 3.1.1.2.3 we have. So let's install pip3. Let's install pip, because we'll be installing the necessary package using requirement.txt file, right? So for that we would require pip in our system. So let's install pip as well. Once this is done, let's create a directory called as app in Ubuntu. Let's get into that directory. getting into the directory, let's install and VNV virtual environment. Let's install virtual environment, and let's this would give an interactive terminal for us to access to say yes. So we are avoiding that interactive terminal using this command, using this complete flag which I have given. So that interactive terminal won't come. Let's install virtual environment. Yeah, we have installed virtual environment as well. Now let's create virtual environment. Once it is created, let's activate it. We have activated virtual environment. Now let's pull the git code. Once code is cloned, let's get into the code, and then let's install requirement.txt file. As I was saying, we would require some packages, right? So for that we would install requirement.txt file. We're installing packages using that. What are these packages? These packages are, let me show you these packages. These are nothing but these are the packages. We have imported in our code, right? These are the packages. It will install flask. It will install request. These are the packages which I have installed using pip. Once this is done, let's try to run the application now. We can run it like this also. Application is running. Let's get the public IP, and then let's get on port number 5000. The application will be accessible. Application is accessible, right? So let's try to create a user. User not found. Let's create a user. Once this is done, yes, I'm able to access the platform now. So these are the videos I want to access.
Now let's create VPC and see.
All the functionalities are running fine, so I'm able to access the website. Let's log out, and let's try to. What happens is when we deploy application, when we want to access application via Python 3 app.py, what happens is we want this file to be running in the background forever. What happens is if at all terminal got stuck or terminal got deactivated, the application will crash. I don't want this to happen, so I want to create a service. So let's create a service for that. Let's create a service. So this is the service which I can create. I don't want my application to crash because of my terminal. So I want my application to run till the time my server is there. For that, so let's create a service. So in this, we are specifying the user group, and then network targets. We are giving network targets, and then working directory we are giving course content. This is the working directory, and then we are giving environment of VNV virtual environment bin. In that bin there is a file called as activate, so it will go and activate that file and then create virtual environment, and then this is the start of application which I am giving, specifying. This will start the application, but what could happen is we have to reload the domain, reload the daemon role reload we have to do. Now let's check status of the service if it is running. status of the service is also running. Let's take the public IP of public IP the application is running now, so let's not found, so let's create a user. So this is the complete application. I'm able to access the application now. So what next step, what we can do is we can create a domain, we can access it using domain. So this 5000 port is there, right? And this 5000 port and this IP, we can add domain to it, and then we can create a record in our DNS records, and then we can access it using domain. So we'll do it in our next video. But right now we have deployed application in single server, so we don't have any database for this. But we can create I'll create a database in future videos. But we can create a database for this, for registering the user and adding the user in our application. This is a simple application, like application logic is there, but in front end is there. So this is the overall application which I have deployed in single server. Next video, what we can do is we can create a Terraform file out of this, and we can deploy it using Terraform. We can create user script in Terraform, and then we can add all these steps in user script, and we can try to deploy the application. Let's try to do this in our next video. But this is the overall info about how an application is deployed in single server. We have deployed an application in single server. So this is the code. This is the code. This is the code. This is a repository. I'll be adding it in the description, and you can also access it, and you can also deploy it. Yeah. So that's all about the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the video. Yeah. Thank you.